Back here at the Civil War Arsenal, the Starkville Civil War Arsenal with Duffy Neubauer, and he's going to talk about this artillery piece.
This might be the most unique weapon in the collection. It's a 24-pound field howitzer, and it was cast in 1847. There are only 69 of them ever made. There's 39 survivors, and there's 3 of them in private hands, and you're looking at one of them. But what's special about this one, it's been reported that this was at Chapultepec and Mexico City. Do not know about the Civil War history, but do know a little bit about its Mexican War history. And if you can walk around to the back of the gun, if you ever go to a battlefield and you see some of the old bronze tubes that have these 3 holes drilled in it, and you go, why are those 3 holes? And notice the dent or the impression in the vent right there. We're going to talk about that right now. That is an E-hidden lock. Those were the locks that were used from the 1840s up to about 1850. And this is kind of a demonstration. There was a primer that went in here, just a copper tube with a flat head on it. And when I pulled this hammer, the hammer would slap on it. And then if I kept pulling on it, it would slide back so the debris would come out. So all you had to do was recock the hammer, put another primer in there, and pull on this. But when the friction primers came out in the early 1850s, they abandoned these. They weren't well liked. They were bolted on, vibration would loosen up the bolts. They got dirty from traveling with dust, and they were not popular. But when you noticed that dent or that impression on the vent on that gun, this is where it came from, is the head of the hammer constantly banging on that vent. And you can see there's quite an impression in that vent, which means that gun was fired a lot before 1850, which means it's a Mexican War vintage gun for sure.